Good morning. This is Andy Daster with North American Insurance Services. I'm joined here by a couple of guys that I'll let them introduce themselves. Judah?
Hi everyone, Judah Azose from New York, here to talk about some group insurance.
Terrific. Thanks for joining this morning.
I'm Eric Jans in Nashville, Tennessee. I'm a sales director with North American.
Thanks so much for joining, guys. So I really wanted to spend some time focusing on group health insurance since that's obviously our topic for this morning. Somehow, the two of you guys are, so far this year, two of our top 5 producers, as you guys already know. So I'm sure a lot of other agents be interested to hear more about how you did that and how you got there. So I'm going to first start with you, Judah. Let's talk about prospecting. I don't know how many groups you put on the books so far this year, a handful of them. Where'd you find the prospects?
Yeah, so I would say it really is 3 main sources from that. The first one, sort of just old school networking, getting referrals from clients. And I'm still relatively new to the business, so I'm only expecting that to really grow. But so far, a lot of the clients that I've made have come from either previous clients or from just people that know what I do, me hitting them up, schmoozing them, and then saying, like, if you have any groups for me to work with, I'd be happy to take a look. So, whenever companies hear saving money, group benefits, they don't necessarily love talking insurance, but they always love seeing some money in their bank account. So that's the first way. The second way is I started maybe I guess like a few months ago, I started really hitting the phones and doing some cold calling. I know it works in other areas. Certainly not sexy, definitely not fun. But I figured I can't know it doesn't work for me if I don't give it a real shot. So, if you think about it, if you're making 30 dials a day and you close a few percentage points, of the companies you're talking to, you're basically automatically rich. So, like, for me, the way that I see it is, let's give it a shot with a few months, really just hitting the phones hard. And I've been able to close some of those. And then the last one is being able to utilize on my website, being able to utilize SEO, Google AdWords, and really starting to get that built up a little bit here. Some of that was definitely funded by the ad, marketing money that we got from some of the previous deals that I closed. And just, as an example, Wednesday, today's Monday, so Wednesday, I have a call with a company that's 80 people that they found our website through some of the blogs that blog posts we did, SEO, Google AdWords, and they reached out on their own and they said, hey, we want to have a conversation with you and see what you can offer us. So,
wow. Give me an idea, like how much do you think you will have spent on SEO and other web-driven tools?
Yeah, so overall, I would say it's probably about, at this point, it's probably about $5,000 or so that we've spent. So definitely not nothing, but not a tremendous amount at all. And that also is sort of diversifying and really allowing us to have that for the long term. So, building up the blog where we paid people to write posts, that's going to be there for a long time. And the SEO really building a foundation for the long term to, even if we're not paying that monthly bill, that it will still be there and we'll still be, generating income.
And did you use your marketing allowance money that you mentioned to help cover the costs?
Yeah, so I had a spreadsheet of everything, where that went, but most of it went to building the SEO for the website. That was really step one. And then Google AdWords. So like once the website from an SEO perspective was doing well, then to really, promote it on Google.
Fantastic. Love it, Judah. Eric, let's talk a little bit about your prospecting, some of the ways that it might be similar and then some of the ways it might be different.
Yeah, it's very similar. I've been doing this a long time though, and so I don't do a lot of cold calling, and maybe I should get back to it. So I started with a supplemental insurance company way back, and so that was all business to business. So I was really familiar with and comfortable with talking to businesses about that product. And shortly after I got into that, I had groups asking me if I could help them find someone to help with their group stuff. And so my first instinct was, yes, I can help you find someone. And then my second instinct was, I don't know anybody that I can trust as well as myself to do this. So I learned how to do the group stuff that way. And I've been successful with it over time. But recently, we've been talking more about the self-funded stuff.
Yeah.
National General, that came on a little bit slower for me because I was used to the traditional model. But some of my groups really fit that model well. And then from there, I've been using a lot of those on renewals on my other groups, bringing those on board with National General, but also where I've been really successful recently was with, I've partnered with financial planners. That's one of my major networking pushes is being a resource to financial planners. And so they'll send me their clients that are business owners, and we'll talk about it from there. And sometimes it's building it's a husband and a wife that own a business and have an employee or two, and they want to talk about how do we offer group health to this one employee. And a lot of group brokers will not touch that. They don't even want to talk to you if you don't have 5 employees or 10 employees. And I was willing to do that from the beginning. And some of those groups have turned into 100-person groups now, just because when they came on board, they had an idea, and I was there with them for their idea and helped them build their thing out. Another thing that recently I've been done well with is every city has a chapter, I think, of the MGMA, which is the Management Group Medical Group Managers Association. And so it's doctor's office, their front office staff network together, and we go in as vendors and sponsor their lunch every week. And so I've gotten 3 or 4 doctor's offices very quickly from just being there consistently and talking to them about their group health. So just kind of being available, I guess, and talking to people that you know, just being the expert. I haven't done as much with the SEO stuff, but I do get quite a bit of activity from my Facebook ads that I've been doing.
Wow. So you guys are really trying it from all different perspectives, but it seems to me like the common theme is just sharing with self-employed or employers. Hey, look, I want to talk to you about your group health. It doesn't sound, I'm not hearing like any tremendous pitch that you guys have that other agents couldn't similarly do. It's just asking the question. Am I missing anything?
Yeah, asking the question. And I will say, I was just talking to someone about this over the weekend. Eric, I'm curious if you would say the same thing. The number one, I guess, like thing that sells me is just responding in a timely fashion. People can't believe that I respond to email when I get it. They're like, wow, thank you so much for responding so quickly. And I'm like, I was by the computer. I just but that's won me, broker record BOR changes and other deals just because I respond, relatively quickly. So that would definitely be a word of advice. That's a very easy way to make money.
Speaking of money, let's change gears a little bit. Just before we started coming on here, Judah, we were talking a little about the income opportunity and why you like selling plans where you can build a book of business. Tell me a little bit why you feel, kind of reiterate some of the things we were talking about, why you like the group and the health insurance market in particular with those renewals.
Yeah, so as we were talking about, I really started in the insurance financial services industry doing individual insurance, life, disability, and it was going all right. But really the reason that I got into the insurance space in general was to be able to build that passive income, the renewal income. So you can build a real book of business. They, instead of making $2,000 a pop, $5,000 a pop, $5,000 on a life insurance sale is a very good sale. But on the group space, you close one deal, and it's not like it's a small deal if you're making $5,000 every single year, and that continues every single year that they stick with you. And if you're responding to your emails quickly, then that could be for 5 or 10 years that you're making that. And as they grow and as their premium gets a little higher each year, you're just getting raises here and there. So to be able to build that book of business is really what got me excited. And to be able to make, 10, 20, 30, 50, $100,000 every single month, and really just put it on the back burner and make sure that I'm servicing them so they stay in the books, but that I don't have to actively go and sell as much. That really is what sold me on this business.
I love it. We built our whole business model on it. Eric, what's your take on the income opportunity?
I agree. That's totally true. Like I've got a group, I was thinking of when he said that, I've got a group that kind of what I said before. I met the owner at a Starbucks, and he said, I'm thinking about starting a business. And I said, let's talk about that. This was like 15 or 16 years ago. And I still have them as a client, and now they're a real business with employees, and I get paid every month on that. But the work involved is they'll call me every so often and say, we hired somebody, here's their application. Or a couple months later, this person's leaving, here's their termination form. It's very, very, very easy. But the hard part, I think, with that is the relationship. And that's not hard either, but that's the work, is the relationship, is maintaining that relationship with that client and being responsive, and you know, being there when they need you, and showing them that, and not just setting it, leaving it, you know, just renewing every year with the same product every time and not going over it, but just showing them the different products or the different opportunities that are out there every renewal period, and just, you know, maintaining that relationship. And I mean, it's not difficult at all. It's just a matter of being who you are.
So I want to hit one last area. I want to make sure we're not going on too long here, with respect to the audience. But I do want to talk a little bit about the how. So what seems to be a recurring theme with level funded group is saving the employer money. Am I missing something? Is that kind of like, hey, I have something I want to show you that can save you money? Is that as simple as it is?
In terms of getting that conversation with the client?
Yep.
Yeah, so that's definitely the door opener.
Okay.
I closed a very big deal towards the end of last year, and they get hit up all the time by health insurance brokers. And I was the only one to show them this idea. I couldn't believe it. It's like, I've been doing this not that long, and they're getting hit up by these people who have been doing this for a long time, and they just don't mention it. So it really is a very unique idea to save money, both on the front end to reduce the premiums, and also on the back end to be able to get a refund. So it's really a win-win. And oftentimes you're getting better benefits. So it's better for the employees, and it's better for the employer because they're saving money. It's a win-win.
Wow. Yeah, incredible. Why do you think, Eric, why aren't other brokers out there talking level funded? I mean, everybody's got your Blue Cross, traditional HMO out there. Why do you think agents aren't looking at some of these level funded type of alternatives?
There's a few factors. One, I think it's semi new, so it takes insurance agents a little time to adjust. People don't like to change, so you get in your routine of bringing back the Blue Crosses and the United Healthcares every year, and maybe flipping back and forth depending on who's less expensive that year, and you get kind of in the lazy pattern. And so the level funded stuff is a little bit more work. It's not a lot of work, but it's a little bit more work. And I think that stops some people. They just don't understand it fully. They don't want to take the time. We're always rushing. You get clients. Everybody's got clients that call you on the 31st. And they need their coverage to start the next day. So I think we get in these patterns where we're kind of the path of least resistance. But this is an opportunity that really helps the client and will keep them around a long time. Like you just said, they can't believe they've never seen this before, and they want to know what the catch is. I had one recently like that. I brought the quote to them, and they were like, how is this possible that it's 40% less than what I'm already paying? They almost didn't want to talk to me because it was so much less than what they were expecting.
Wow. I think if you're an agent looking to get started in the group space and you're trying to run around doing the same thing that all the other group brokers, you're going to get your nose bloody to lie. It's going to be really hard to crack into the market because, like Judah was saying, you got all these brokers running around talking about traditional, and at least you got something different here, something unique, and great stories that you guys are sharing is fantastic. So if you're an agent and you're wanting to get into the group business and learn from what these guys have learned, all you got to do is give us a call, jump on our website, learn more about the group space, and we'd love to help you get on board. Judah and Eric, thank you so much for the time this morning. Really, really insightful. I appreciate the time.
Thanks.
Thanks, Andy.